Hi everyone, and welcome to this short video about how to disable nuclear weapons in Civilization IV. If, like me, you played a few games and you got to the later stages of the game, especially on higher difficulty levels, and found that the AI civs just overuse nukes all the time to the point where it actually spoils the game, we've actually found a way here of modifying the game files so it takes nuclear weapons out of the game altogether. And it's really improved gameplay. The higher difficulty levels are now really fun at the end without being ridiculous. Okay, so before we alter anything, let's do a quick test and make sure that nuclear weapons are actually enabled at the moment. And a very quick way of seeing this is if we start the game up and we're going to load a custom game and take a look at that. So, loads up, single player, custom game. Just set the starting era to modern and hit launch. It doesn't matter about the other settings, this is just a very quick test. Once the game's loaded up, find your settler unit and build a city. Okay, so let's have a look down the build list here and we should see, there we go, the Manhattan Project. It's available to build. So what we're going to do is modify the game file to take that out altogether. So let's get out of this game and go and see how we do that. So the first thing we need to do is back up the file that we're going to alter just in case anything goes wrong. And we go into the install location, and by default this is will be on your C drive in the program files folder, or program files x86 on later versions of Windows. However, if you followed my other video, and the link is in the description below, you should have installed it into a different section on the hard drive. So we'll go into my installation just here, where I've got it in the Civ 4. And the file we're looking for, if it's the vanilla version of Civilization 4, it'll be under the Assets, XML, Game Info. But if, like me, you've installed the Beyond the Sword expansion, just go back, it's in our install folder. Beyond the Sword, Assets, XML, Game Info. And the file we're looking for is the Civ 4 project info file. It's just a simple text file, and all we need to do is create a copy of that and paste it somewhere safe. I'm just going to put it on the desktop for now, and I'll store it somewhere safe for later. So once we've got a copy of that, we can go in and alter it. And I would suggest using Notepad. Nice simple text editor to open up. So if you right click on the Civ 4 project info, select open with, and Notepad should come up as an option. So now we're going to open up. This file basically stores all information about building wonders in the game. And all we're going to do to disable nuclear weapons is remove the wonder that enables them, in this case the Manhattan Project. And luckily enough, that one appears right at the top of the list, or at least it does in mine. I assume it does in everybody else's. And the bit of information we need to alter is just here. It's about 12 lines down. It's called IMAX Global Instances. And all we're going to do is change that from 1 to 0. It's just a dead simple change. Now we're going to see if that's worked. Click on File and Save. Nothing else to do. Close this down and then let's open the game. Okay, once the game's opened, this is a real quick way of testing to see if this is going to have worked or not. So you'll have seen before we went into single player and custom game, and all we need to do is very quickly launch one in the modern era. So from the era, select modern, there we go, and hit launch. Now when the game starts, all we need to do is quickly build our first city with a settler and open up the build list. So let's find our settler. He'll do. Click build, accept the name, and let's have a look down the list. And that's it, it's gone. No more Manhattan Project, which means no one can select it to be built in the game, and no nuclear weapons, spoiling the endgame. So it's a dead simple fix, and that's all it takes. So one other thing to note, if you're playing a multiplayer game of this like we do with play by email, then every player must also modify that file. Now if you don't fancy modifying the file yourself, I've actually included a link in the video description, and all you need to do is download that pre-modified file and replace yours with it, and that'll do the mod for you. And if you've got it installed by default in the program files folder, you might not be able to move that file out. So I'd suggest taking a look at my other video and how to load Civ 4 and set it up so you don't get that problem. But yeah, for everyone who's got tired of nuclear weapons ruining Civ, I hope that's fixed it for you. It certainly did for us. So thank you very much, and hopefully see you again.